Most successful investors I know that have property portfolios worth over hundreds of millions of dollars take risks to get there. Taking risk is something that you must embrace. I mean, when I say risk, I mean calculated risks. If you want to be a successful investor, if you want to hit your goals, if you want to reach success, you need to be willing and able to take the risks to get there. My name is Thomas Regan. I have a 9 property portfolio, and I just wanted to talk to you guys today about risk. So, building a property portfolio, when building a property portfolio, the faster you're able to do it, the better you will be in the long run. Like if you look at a property portfolio, anyone that has a property portfolio will say, gee, I wish I started 10 years ago. Like I personally started investing when I was 27. I'm 32 now and I have 9 properties in my portfolio. But I always think, gee, what if I just, instead of investing when I was 27, what if I just started investing when I was 18? Like it would have been so much easier, and I would have been, it's not even like I would have been twice as far ahead of where I am now. It's like I would have been like 100 times as far ahead as where I am now. But it's about the risk. People look at properties and they see something they don't like, and it doesn't even make any sense in terms of the big picture, right? But they say, okay, no, that's too risky for me. But you've got to look at the big picture, and it's like, why are we doing this? What goal are we trying to reach? What success are we trying to get to through buying this property? Will this get us there? Whether this property has that risk associated with it or not. Okay, if it does, then let's go ahead. But basically, I'm not talking about just blatantly taking negligent risks. I'm talking about obviously taking calculated risks. Like people that I'm referring to when I say very successful investors take risks, like 2 people I can think of that come to mind is Nathan Birch and Scott O'Neill. Scott O'Neill is, I think he's about 38-year-old property investor here in Australia, and he's a buyer's agent as well. And he talks about sleeping on his wife's mum's living room floor because they spent all their money, everything they've got, to get to their next property, to buy their next property, and ultimately, like taking that risks and going through that pain of pushing through to build the property portfolio is the reason why he is where he is today with a property portfolio worth over $100 million. If he didn't take that risk at the start, he wouldn't be where he is. All these little things matter, and taking risk is the key, right? So also, like Nathan, Scott O'Neill talks about many things that he's done that is like taking significant risks to get his property portfolio moving forward in the beginning stages of his journey. Like he talked about, really redlining. Like he said, he was always redlining. Like, as a property portfolio, as a property investor, you should have buffers. But he was talking about like taking the calculated risk of reducing and spending all those buffers to buy the next property, and it was a risk, but it was a calculated risk. He does all the numbers, he makes sure it all works, but to take the buffers out of a property portfolio, that's a risk. You should have a buffer for each property portfolio. But if you do the calculation, you say, okay, this is a risk, but it's going to be worth it, then that's what I'm talking about. You need to be able to take risks to push yourself forward. You need to understand the risks that you're taking and weigh up, is this worth me doing this to get to the next level, okay? If it makes sense, if the risks weigh up and you understand what you're getting yourself into, you have to be willing. You have to have that risk appetite to move forward. Successful property investors always love taking risks. calculated risks. Nathan Birch talks about, selling his cars. Like he'd have a car, and to get the deposit for the next property, he always talks about how he would like sell his car and drive a shitbox car, like a $500 car for a time being, and just so he could get that next property. And that's if you just play it safe the whole way through your property portfolio building journey, you will have a normal life. If you do normal things, you're just going to have a normal life. If you want a great life, a successful life, you have to do things people are not willing to do. You have to take the risks people are not willing to take. That's that's about it, guys. Yeah, I guess I need to take a few more risks. I feel like I'm not taking enough risks, but yeah, definitely to get to 9 properties, I've taken a few risks, but I'm gonna have to take a lot more in the future to grow to 50 properties. All right, guys, see you. Bye.